الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. The manners of dialogue is an extremely important issue that has a lot of implications. Actually, one of the main problem of Muslims today, Muslim Ummah or Muslim community, is division. That division is coming mainly from inability to handle differences and manage our differences. This also in turn is the result of the inability to communicate effectively and have these manners of dialogue. That applies to families, applies to communities, applies everywhere. So there is a need to observe those adab or manners of dialogue, and we'll talk about some factors that may help observing those manners. One of those factors is to choose the right time and the right circumstances to talk about issues. Whether you talk to somebody over the phone or face to face, make sure that the time is right and the circumstances are right. Second, listening. Second factor, listening to understand and learn. حكمة ضالة المؤمن. We are always looking for the truth. We don't hold it. We're looking for it. There should be no interruption in dialogue. There should be no argumentations or debate. Prevent debate. If the dialogue is turning into debate, avoid it. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam praised and promised Jannah for those who avoid argumentation, even if they are right. They don't go on in argumentation. If you see there is no progress in dialogue, there is no point in continuing it. Another factor is to be gentle. There should be no rudeness in dialogue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described believers as رحماء بينهم أذلة على المؤمنين, humility, mercy. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even in dealing with the leaders of Quraysh and the mushrikeen, he was gentle, he was listening, he was respectful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us when we engage the people of the book, those we differ in the matter of aqidah, yet ولا تجادلوا أهل الكتاب إلا بالتي هي أحسن. Don't discuss with them except with the best possible manner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Musa alayhi salam to whom? To Fir'aun. Musa and Harun, and said,
اذهبا إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقولا له قولا لينا لعله يتذكر أو يخشى.
Speak to him gently. Manners in Islam, akhlaq, is described as كف الأذى قولا وفعلا, that you don't hurt people, neither with your words nor with your deeds. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت." So whoever believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment, let him say something good or keep quiet. You have always the right to remain silent. None of us is Fir'aun, none of us is the leader of Quraysh or Mushrikeen, yet unfortunately when we talk to each other, we don't observe those manners. The goal in dialogue is not to agree. The goal in dialogue is to understand, to accept others, and to respect them, and to try to cooperate with them on whatever you agree. Often times you don't have to agree. It's good enough to agree to disagree. And let's cooperate in matters where we agree and excuse each other when we disagree. There are things that some people use that kill the dialogue. The attitude of self-righteousness. If you think that you're holding the truth, there is no way you can have an effective or constructive dialogue with others. Personalizing issues, stereotyping, zero-sum approach, with us or against us. All of these antagonize people and polarize the environments. We Muslims, believers, need to choose our words very carefully as Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam recommended us, and try to avoid the diseases of the tongue. Most people end up in hellfire because of their tongue. When we discuss anything, let's put a context for it. Because if you get engaged in a dialogue that is not structured, gonna be jumping from one subject to another or from one exit to another. Let's define the issue. Let's define what is it that we are discussing, what is it that we're trying to achieve, what are the options available, the courses of action that will help tremendously having a constructive dialogue. Remember, most importantly, the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يكون من نجوى ثلاثة إلا هو رابعهم. Allah is with you wherever you are. When you talk to somebody, Allah is watching. So have that reverence to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, remember, when you talk about somebody, behave as if that person is present. Because backbiting, ghiba, is to mention somebody with something he does not like, even if it is true. So when you talk about somebody, keep in mind or behave as if that person is present. Another important aspect is we need to keep the discussion proportional to the issue at hand. If the issue is not worth it, let's not waste time on it. If the issue does not have practical implication, it's a laghu, it's vain talk that has to be avoided. And again, as we started, the main reasons for division and broken relationship is lack of adab or manners of dialogue. Let's observe some of these factors or some of these tips, and let's also pursue or try to find out more so that our dialogue become constructive, effective, and within the boundaries of Islam.